Hi, everybody. See, we got to make this intro longer because it doesn't give me the time.
You know what we need? We need
you get revved up and you're like,
we need like a Led Zeppelin. Yeah, like who are you? Like to start off the show, like get hyped. You know, like it's not bad, but yeah, it definitely needs to be a little bit longer, and we need
we need one of those old school Dan intros where he had like a 12-minute guitar solo in the middle of it.
Yeah,
fantastic. That's what we need. Then I can get ready.
I'm pretty sure we still have all of that somewhere, but yeah.
Well, I feel weird using it. What's up, everybody? We are back. Max finally saw episode 5, and he wants to talk about it.
I'm all caught up. If we want to go farther than episode 5. I'm at the present.
Good. I wanted to touch on it every week, but yeah. So how's everybody doing? What's everybody watching? I checked out Maestro today. It was a pretty good movie on Netflix.
I'm watching Three Body Problem.
What is
I read those books, and there was a lot. So I'm worried to start the show because
there's
like
a lot in the show.
Okay,
I dig it so far. They do it pretty well. Because I know that the Fermi paradox is so like. Once I figured out that's what they're doing, I was like, oh. And it's not like they hide it from you. Like at one point, she says it in like the 3rd episode. She's like, oh, it's Fermi paradox. I'm like, took you this long? Figure out, like, but like it's pretty cool. It's a cool little, check it out. Like weird sci-fi kind of horror-esque tale.
Nice. Yeah, I saved that to my queue. I want to check that out.
Ditto.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard it was all right. I really, obviously, seasons 1 through 4 or 5 of Game of Thrones were super solid. So, like I trust the the guys behind it to a point. But yeah, like I was just like, I mean, I read those books, and they're it's a Chinese, it's a book that was translated from Chinese, so it's like. I don't know how much gets lost in translation there, but it's super dry and super like hard to kind of like read. It's very slow, and like once you get into it, it's easier, but it's a rough read, like just to try to like make yourself do it. So I was worried about the show just because I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know.
They do a good job of it because I read the Game of Thrones books, and that movie show is so much better. All right, the books are good. Books are good. The show. Have a lot more talk for my taste than the books did.
Yeah, I appreciate each of them for the books are good, but you're right. Like there's a lot of extra stuff in there. Like George R.R. Martin just kind of goes.
A lot of extra interest added for sure.
And he just likes to make up characters, and it's like, and now we're talking about this guy, and you learn his whole history, and then he dies. Like it's totally absurd. So yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. The way they cut down the show and like they combine some characters into. Is there something on my face?
Nah, it's all in the subtext.
You missed. And as soon as I saw you missed it, I'm like, I am going to get banned tonight.
I heard you, Mick.
Thank you. I saw Mike's reaction. I was like, I can't not now. I was like, I got to dive deeper into this.
Yeah. I watched Rebel Moon Part 2 last night, and then I woke up and watched Late Night with the Devil this morning, and then continued with Civil War. So it's been a movie marathon over here.
That's awesome. Well, I don't know how the first one went. What did you think of the first one?
Oh, Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
Whatever. This one was even less whatever. Like I mentioned it to Jay in the chat. Like Zack Snyder shouldn't make movies that are 2 hours or less. Like he should only either make TV shows or 4+ hour movies so he can just do whatever he wants and get it out of his system. Like,
well, I heard, like I was telling you in the chat, that Netflix and him did this purposely. They released these versions of these movies, and then down the line they're going to release the Snyder cut because that's big press. They can get you to watch both copies. Of
Nope.
You're not going to.
As far as I'm concerned, on both counts,
you're not going to get a Rebel Moon movement behind this, like they did for the Snyder cut. Like I'm one of those people. I'm like, I like the Snyder cut. I think it works better than the movie that
It
they
does.
released in theaters. And I'm glad, you know, due to the personal tragedy he experienced while filming the movie, and he had to leave, and they took it away from him, and he got to come back and make it the way he wanted. I'm glad he got closure on that. But I can go back now to saying, like, I don't think you're cut out for this regular length movie experience, Zack Snyder. I think just stick to making like a maxi series or something.
I heard he was gonna remake Sucker Punch.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard he
God.
wants to. I heard he wants to.
That's
Maybe
weird because I'm like one of 7 people who actually like that movie.
Right. To each their own.
But like, yeah, no, it's. I don't know why I like it. I just do. I like every argument against the movie is valid. So like, I'm not like gonna defend it or whatever, but I enjoy it.
I guess, but I like he's hyping this thing up to be like his Avatar. Like he wants to make 4 more of these Rebel Moon movies. Like, and each of them is like a movie that's split into two movies. Like, this is his Avatar apparently. Like, and he wants to dedicate to. And I'm just like, really? Because it's not really that good, man.
At what level do we grab these directors? Some of them, and I mean, from personal experience, I like it should be sooner than he got. But do you get to these directors and you're just like, enough? You're not, you know, what's his name? Fucking James, or what's his
Cameron.
name?
Cameron.
Yeah. You're not Cameron. I can't even remember his name, and still he puts together some good fucking shit.
Yeah. Well, even then, I'm kind of like, yeah, the Avatar movies are fun to look at, but plot-wise, man, there's nothing to grasp onto for me in those movies. And he wants to make like 9 of those, so it's like, whatever, man. If you got the funds to do it, I guess. Like,
but you know, it's also, but like
Cameron is pushing the technology forward.
Yeah, and he advances the industry when he makes a movie. Like,
now if only he could do that for storytelling, that'd be fine too.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's not. Like
I'm not gonna fault him for advancing the tech. That's fine.
You know, it's like
Zack Snyder's not even advancing careers. Like that's like no level for it.
Burn. No, that it's the truth. I mean, and James Cameron has always been like, I mean, he knows how to make an entertaining movie. For sure. Like it's you know, like again, I celebrate pretty much his whole library of movies. Like I'm down for anything. But like like the story, the plot is not where he shines. It's like, look at the technical aspects of the movie, and that's where you're seeing James Cameron come to life. And when he says like, oh, okay, I want to make a freaking Titanic movie, I better build a submarine so I can go look at the Titanic. Like that's what James Cameron is doing. So yeah, but like, yeah, no, Zack Snyder doesn't have any of that going for him.
Give all my cast hypothermia by putting him in water all day.
But but the hypothermia makes it more real because everyone died of hypothermia on the Titanic.
Yeah, but was their production hijacked by someone putting, what was it, peyote in the? Did you ever hear that story?
I heard, yes.
Yeah, the drugs in the catering, and so everyone just had a really bad day on set.
Or a really good day, depending on how you look at it.
No, it's not. It wasn't that. It wasn't like what we're experiencing here today in our lovely air. No, it was bad, like death almost.
Like don't eat the brown acid bad.
Yeah, don't eat the brown acid bad. Yeah.
No, Zack Snyder. You know, and listening to what Mick was saying, like it's fine. You know, when you try a thing, but then to keep on going when you know, like, it's bad, it's not good, you know, like, it's not. How can you look at this and think this was good work? It's just like, come on, man, like, let's come back down to reality.
And he seems like a lovely fellow.
Yeah, nothing against the dude.
I'm just saying this movie was boring.
Does he though? Because like, I mean, I've seen him in some interviews, and sometimes he talks, and it's just like, dude, you've lost your touch on how good of a director you are.
He has trouble finding words at times. I've seen that a lot in interviews too, where he kind of struggles to find an appropriate way to say things. But yeah,
I'd venture to guess he actually like sniffs his own ass sometimes.
I wouldn't say that's too far out there.
The cup, and then it's like,
I think DC fans helped inflate that a little bit. His
probably
his ego a little bit, but Max and I watched The Circle this week, which is the reason for our topic, guilty pleasure TV shows. And I was watching it with my daughter, and I'm like, I really like this guy, Brandon. Like, he's really cool. And then I found out he's from Columbus. So I reach out to him, like, hey, I do a podcast. We've interviewed people from The Circle many, many times. Would you like to come on? He said, absolutely. I said, let's set it up for after the show airs, because I don't want to talk to you about the show if we can't talk about the whole show. And then 2 hours later, I see that my cousin's mom, my uncle's ex-wife, was posting photos with him. So I messaged her, and she works with him at the hospital. And so I have a 1 degree of separation. I thought this guy was really cool. I thought that was really cool that I know somebody who actually knows him. And I can't wait to talk to him. But The Circle added an element this year, and I could talk about it a little bit because Max is through episode 3, which is where I'm at too, where they added AI as a competitor on there. And it's fascinating. But I feel bad for the people because in the 3rd episode, they have to vote on who they think is the most human and block the person they think is the least human. Like, how do you feel when you get blocked and the AI stays?
I was like, they thought I was a robot. But I think this is an interesting use of AI, and this is kind of a fun look at what AI can do and all the chatbot whateverness. I think this is okay. As where I'm at right now, he's probably only been there for maybe a half of an episode.
No, and they dropped the bomb that there is an AI in the game, the 2nd episode. So
it's just okay.
It's probably a good indictment on how stupid we collectively are.
Yeah,
but the AI advances.
The robot is like, hey, I'm going to use the picture with a dog in it because people tend to more like people with furry animals. I'm going to do this and that. And it's like, hey, I should talk now because if I don't talk now, it's going to look weird. But the AI is doing it better than people.
But it's funny because the person that the AI is pretending to be in the apartment, which is what gets me and my daughter every time. They have pillows with the person's face on it, and they got pictures in the background.
Why? I guess it would have been weird if it was just an all-white room with just this computer sitting, just a server sitting there.
Can I ask a couple? Because I don't watch The Circle.
Mm-hmm.
So with the AI, is this how we get with an AI being on the show, and it's going on these dates with I'm guessing these women and men, and sometimes too. Right?
No, the Circle.
That's what I was gathering. I don't know.
Circle is a web chat based show where it's you don't actually meet the people. They don't see the people. So
and they're not trying to date each other or anything.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, I don't know. I hear reality TV, I automatically go right to it.
Max and I don't know how we got addicted to this show because we both hate reality TV, but for somehow we're both hooked.
Okay. I'm never gonna watch it.
No, that's fine. I wouldn't actually recommend it to anyone. It's the guilty pleasure. But yeah,
that's just me though. That's a personal preference because if I get started, I'm in, and I don't want to be in.
If you're sitting, it's 4:20. You're I don't know what to put on. You can throw on The Circle, and there's you can just let it go. And they do the thing where the episode actually should end halfway through the episode, and so you get stuck watching more than you should, because it's the big drop happens halfway through the next episode. They'll introduce an idea halfway through the first episode, and then resolve it halfway through the second episode. So you end up having to chain. And you have to know when to stop watching the show, or else you just get sucked into watching episode. Yeah, they got you
like a casino for your television.
Yeah, they know what they're doing for sure.
They have a really good casting director too, because there's not been anybody on the show that I've hated. There's been maybe a few obnoxious ones, but nobody I've hated.
Jason, that you like everyone is unsurprising to me.
No, I don't like everyone. I got a prime example of somebody I don't like, but I won't get into that right now.
That Jason likes everyone is.
I'm hoping on some level you don't like the AI. You're kind of I hope this thing doesn't advance too much.
He's too good. The only thing because when the people are thinking when they pose a question who do you think the AI is? People are like, oh, who made a weird answer? Who did this? But it's who was on point every time? That's the person who's weird. You know, like, hey, if you say something weird, like that's people. If you're awkward in some way, like that's people.
Now, I told Max going into this that the AI as a gag is funny, but I hope that it ends soon because I can see it getting old quick. But so far, I've been laughing a lot.
We have
is
12
it cost efficient?
seasons of the fucking singing mask person. We're never going to get tired of it. They're never going to get tired of it. We're screwed. There's 90 Day Fiance. Their 90 Day Fiance has more seasons than I've been alive, and that's not possible. Like,
oh my god, my dad loves 90 Day Fiance. That's
like,
I believe that.
Don't get sick of it.
If it gives you eyeballs and if it's cost efficient, yeah, it's not going away.
Never.
But speaking of eyeballs, X-Men 97 gave up episode 6. Mac and I talked a little bit about episode 5 last week, and I want to hear what Max thought. Were you a blubbering mess like I was?
I mean, like, no, it hit me, you know, like it was because like Nightcrawler lived, so I was okay with everything else that happened.
Spoiler alert!
Oh yeah.
It's been out weeks now. I mean, whatever.
And Max froze.
Yep. He was about to go into spoilers, and
I'm back.
He got thrown out. Are you back?
Am I
the
back?
internet was like, "Shut up."
Is this AI? Yeah, that episode was heavy, way heavier than I thought. Like, I don't know what I was expecting when everyone's like, "Oh my god, episode 5," but like, "Oh my god, episode 5." Yeah, like I thought the Gambit, the way he went out was so dope. I was like, this is prime X-Men 97 right here. This is the good stuff.
Oh my god, dude, yeah, so good. Episode 6 was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Episode 5 is kind of I feel like it's going to be like Last of Us episode 3 was, but episode 6 was pretty good. No, I mean, not saying it's the same quality. I'm saying that it's going to end up being, I think, the benchmark for the season.
I have not watched a single episode, so that's why I'm quiet during all of this.
Were you in X-Men?
You're fine. You're not ruining anything for me. I'm good. I don't care about spoilers or any of that. I'll be fine.
Oh no, but like
they're mutants. Humans hate them. You know,
were you a fan of the cartoon back in the day at all, or?
I read the comics. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And if you watch the cartoon at all, I highly recommend it. It is puts you right back in that place. They do a very, very good job.
No, because I heard they took away Rogue's ass. Is that about?
They did trim it down. They definitely trimmed it down.
The best part of the original series, taking it away.
I mean, you learn to cope. To cope.
Yeah,
but, I will never cope on that.
It's hard when they take away your fictional character who's comprised of lines and colors.
They're giant asses. Don't get snarky with me. I'll go all over cartoon asses. Jessica Rabbit jerked off to her this morning. Here we go.
But actually, Rogue to me is like, other than Magneto's costume, I do not like the Magneto costume. I never figured Magneto as dude who puts giant M on his chest. But
scarf and gloves.
I kind of get it because since he like is trying to turn over the new leaf, and he's like, okay, what do these superheroes like to dress up in? Maybe this is my take on it. I don't know. Maybe he went with his first idea.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm not feeling it to begin with, so I'll just go with the first idea.
Need to workshop this some more. Maybe I'm not so sad he's gone just because of that costume.
X-Men. We're the M-Men now.
Yep.
M stands for men.
No, he's killing off the men. He's like the M ladies. That's what they're called.
Or he knew Rogue was going to be on the team, so he's like, I got to show off my shoulders.
Yeah,
he's like, I got to show her the guns.
Rogue digs
remind her what she left.
What were you gonna say about Rogue, Max?
I don't like her.
Really?
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a Rogue. Like I don't like her voice acting.
No more junk in the trunk.
Yeah, she's missing that booty for sure. But yeah, like I don't like the voice acting. I think
she sounds older.
Yeah, it's some of the like worst as far as this is concerned.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. I'm not a Rogue fan in this.
I thought
She
she
grew
killed
on
it on.
me,
I
but
thought she
it
killed
did.
it on the last line of the episode. Honestly, I thought she
Yeah.
really killed it on that last line.
Her voice grew on me. It's not the actress's fault. Obviously, she aged, but it's fine for me. But yeah, I'm just surprised at how well written this entire season has been from start to finish. And episode 5 was just another notch. And then episode 6, what do you think of that reveal?
Oh, dude, like I'm like, of course, though, you know, like if they got to have one of the two, right? Like if Professor X isn't going to be there, Magneto's got to be the guy. If Magneto's not going to be there, then only Professor X can be the guy. So it's it kind of, I don't know, it kind of sucks, and like the whole Shi'ar melodrama, I'm just like, you know, whatever.
Honestly, yeah. If it's never like Phoenix centric, a lot of the Interstellar X-Men stuff I kind of tune out of. Honestly, if it's not focused around Phoenix or if it gets really Shi'ar heavy, I'm like, I don't care about these aliens, honestly.
And
I need to finish my binge because I feel like I missed a story arc in the original series to catch up with Professor X now, because like none of this has been set up in this season so far. So it has.
The Shi'ar and Phoenix are intertwined, and the Shi'ar played a role in the end of the original show, so it makes sense that they'll come back to him. It's just I just don't find that race of aliens particularly interesting.
Yeah, like the Shi'ar as a race suck. Like they're awful.
That's what the episode kind of shows. It's like, wow, you guys kind of suck.
And you know, and with Galactic like X-Men, like I actually Guardians does it better. Like in the comic books, the Guardians of the Galaxy is so much better than X-Men Galactic. So it's just like it's hard for them to pull it off for me. And so yeah, like I'm a little sad.
I will say the amount of fun people are having with the meme of Milky Way Ghetto is enjoyable to watch.
Yes, for sure.
So, we're digging it, guys. Go check it out. But I really want to talk about Civil War. I know everybody watched this movie. I wish Justin was here because he had a little bit of a different take than we did. But one of the things that Max mentioned when we were leaving, and I've thought about it since, is that it doesn't dive into the politics of what's happening really in that world. And my takeaway from this movie was that the politics don't matter in the end because we all lost. All the innocent people in the country have lost. So none of the politics matter because we've all lost. We've watched all these tragic deaths throughout the movie go all the way to the end where, you know, more innocent people die. The press essentially are just there to capture what's happening, and they're dying throughout the movie, and the politics don't matter because as a country we lost.
Yeah,
I would say we were winning by the end of that one. Depends on how you stand.
Exactly. That's it. It's like, oh, hey, they either murdered everyone that you thought they should murder, or everyone that you loved got killed. Like it's however you take it, that's how it went down. So like, I like that. I didn't think that we needed to be like, you know, like we know. You know, like oh, Donald Trump bad. Oh, you're like, oh, Joe Biden bad. Like we didn't need that. Like we get enough of that every day anyway. But it's just like, you know, like look how awful everything is. That's what this movie is. You know, and like there's some just ridiculous stuff in this movie. Like when you have military members like putting press members in the stack, like they've got like 0 to little body armor, and they're like taking corners with these freaking photojournalists. Like that to me is the most ridiculous part of the movie, because like why would you even do this, and why wouldn't they just be behind everyone? Like you got like the photojournalists, like fourth man in the stack, like try to clear this room. That makes 0 sense.
But what I want to know, and the only reason I want to know the politics in this movie is I just want to know what happened that California and Texas are on the
it's
same
almost
side
it's
of
almost
the
like
war.
you don't know what the stakes are going into this world, so why should I kind of care beyond like, oh, the main characters are getting picked off like flies? Then they seem kind of cool. But
I kind of disagree with that because the subtext I think really at least touches down on reasons we should be thinking about why this is happening. Like the third term for the president is clearly a tyrannical president.
Mm-hmm.
And the two far leftist state and the far right team up together to stop this president. I mean, that gives us enough of a backstory where the characters, I feel like in this really filled in everything else. Like it was really well done, and I thought led by Kristen Stewart perfectly. I love the characterization.
I like the film overall. Like it's really tense filmmaking too. And I know Max, you probably took issue with like why are these journalists in the stack and stuff, but that kind of created a lot of tension where there needed to be some, because it's like this is unprecedented type of warfare now that America's seen on its soil, and it's like you're gonna have these modern day photojournalists in the thick of it, and how would they actually function in this setup essentially?
My anime brain clicked in to like help me get through this movie, where I was just like, oh, this is just an anime where it's the super crack squad of photojournalists who oh, they got to get the perfect shot and everything like that, and they trained in the military. They know how to get into the stack. They know how to like jump to the corner and yada yada yada. You see, like when she's learning, the dude's got his hand on the new girl, and he's like, okay, come back. Okay, go out. Okay, come back. Like it was just really crazy to me. Like I don't know. Like maybe that's just like my Marine Corps.
Yeah, it's your training.
But it's it was just really weird.
Well, as a Marine, can I ask you this though? Like if you were working with photojournalists, overseas, and then something like that were to happen, they're trained, this person, would you trust them more than just say a regular?
No. I'm like, the guy behind me needs to have a weapon.
Which I get, but this is
but I mean, like, and sure, if they're in the back, like in the very back, and the job gets done first, and they come in and take some shots, or they can get some shots from back there, I'm cool. But as far as like the safety of me and my guys, there's no reason to put you in that very crucial position. That's not a spot where you can occupy.
And just to further that point, though, now all this is happening at home, and most of the people you are working with are just everyday civilians who never have been training or war. You might still trust those wartime photojournalists.
Oh, sure, but I'm going to give them.
Like that's why I correlate it with this story particularly. Like, if I'm overseas, no, of course not. But like in this story, that's what I like the layers of. Who do you trust? Who do you go to in those scenarios?
Yeah, no, like I mean, hey, if Kirsten Dunst wants to grab a rifle and get in the stack, have at it. Have it, because if you can shoot a camera, you can shoot a gun. So it's not.
Get that on a shirt.
And you might have a better eye for it than some people that have been trained. But I'm getting as far as just like in that super intense situation where you're clearing rooms and there's enemy combatants. It doesn't matter where on the planet you are. It does not matter. Like. And again, this is just as far as, hey, we're in a hostile situation. I can't have a dude with a camera behind me. Like that's not gonna fly at all. Because you can't help me. You can't help me with that camera. And I mean, like it even happens. Like look what happens to Kirsten Dunst. And it's just like, oh, and it was weird too, because like they did a really good job of showing like all the journalists as very capable right up until the last moment where they needed Kirsten Dunst to die. Like,
well, they had also established going into that whole situation, she was having some PTSD go down in response to that. So she's not she's not in her usual headspace that you see her in prior to that moment.
But she wasn't the one who froze up. The new girl was killing it that whole time.
Yeah.
And the new girl's the one who got her killed. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, you've been so on it this whole time. Like, why would you just jump out there into the middle of the open and then just...
Because Alex Garland earlier in the movie said, are you going to had the girl say, are you going to photograph me if I die? And Kirsten Dunst is like, what do you think? And so thematically, he needed a payoff.
Yeah,
like, some of this stuff just happens because the story needs to thematically close out. So
there's like better ways to do that. I was a little... Yeah, but again...
Yeah. But also think about it too. There are 3 photojournalists that don't always work together. She was learning. She had a chance to take a shot of the president, who has never seen. She's looking now. I'm going to get this shot, and that's when Kirsten Dunst's character, who has not been on it the entire time, you see that twinge in her eye, which she did perfectly. That's when she kicks out and she goes, "I know I'm dead when I move, but I'm going to save her. That's my good thing for everything I've seen. That's the good thing that I'm going to do." And that's why, like, she's so relieved almost, like, in that, like, when she's falling over, like, at least I don't got to see what happens next. And that ending really kicks it up. And I just, who is the good guy? Who is the bad guy? Like, I really enjoyed this movie very much. And Max, I want to say thanks a lot for that explanation. I was digging a little bit more. I wanted to hear more of it, but I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's like, again, like, my Marine Corps doesn't kick in all that often, but yeah, like, that's talking with my brother about it, he's definitely more military minded than me, and like he was kind of going off the rails about it. I was like, yeah, I mean, he makes some valid points, but it was also just a movie. You know?
And ultimately, that's what I had to let go in order to enjoy the film more. Is that, like, I'd be searching for, like, okay, what's the actual real world parallel for why these political divides are happening in this situation? I'm just like, you know what? It's all allegory right now. I'm gonna check that out and just enjoy for what it is right now. Because yeah, you were right earlier, Mick. Is that, like, the themes really come through pretty prominently, and you don't really have to assign a specific delegation to them. But yeah, it just kind of irked me a little bit because I'm like, we're a hair's breadth away from this kind of taking place in the real world sometimes. So it's like.
Yeah. Oh, and that's 100% with you there. Like, when I watch even, like, the nuclear, and I know we're going to talk about Fallout later, but stuff like that, you see that, and it kind of, like, I love that they do make things that are supposed to piss you off. Like, fuck, we better not get to this point because we're starting to recognize it a little bit more. I'd like to see this open up a little bit more and maybe see more stories from Civil War. Stuff
that
like
was actually the more intriguing thing too. It's like, yeah, we're following these people around, but we've only getting glimpses of, like, the actual people who are just citizens living, and yeah, the militia people and things like that. What does a loyalist go through?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie, is when they went to the seemingly normal town where everything seemed like nothing was going on, and then as Kristen Dunst leaves, they point out, like, it may seem normal, but if you look up, it's the same as everywhere else.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then, like, the whole thing at that gas station with the money, where there's, like, they can't use American money. Like, American
Canadian dollars are worth more.
Yeah, so I was like, that's dope. I'm glad they put that in. Like, that's some things that you're gonna have to think, like, this is what's gonna happen. Like, oh, do you have $8 billion, Mr. Musk? Like, guess what? Not worth nothing. Like, that's.
I guess that's also part of his storytelling too, is he's trying to lay in some ambiguity, because for example, the gas station, you're going in there and then you go to the car wash where those dudes are strung up, and you have to be like, oh, well, they're looters, so we're just taking care of them the way we see fit. And it's like, is that really the whole story? And you're kind of, on edge already. So you're like, you just got to sit with the uncertainty that you don't know what everyone's going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then old crazy dude in the freaking pit, the mass grave, like the one ultra racist dude that is like, hey, I mean, like, this is America, you're gonna cross it.
Which I love the implication of him. His character is so chilling in that, and that's Kirsten Dunst's husband. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to see him come in, and he's such a great actor. Anyway.
He came in last minute too. Like, that wasn't supposed to be his role, and the original actor had to bounce out, and so Kirsten's like, my husband will do it.
Yeah.
So he plays such a chilling role too, and he did great in this. But, like, the fact that they are America's army, they are the president's army, and that's what they're doing to civilian bodies. Like, the implications, he did a really good job with the imagery in this.
Yes.
Sure.
Oh yeah. And again, like, that's why I liked that there was no hard, like, it was this or that. Just because, like, just what happens when it all breaks down, and we get to the baseline of what people are willing to do, and willing to defend, like that guy thinks he's right. That guy obviously is willing to kill, thinking what he's doing is the right thing. And then you look, and that whole mass grave, there's like 80 people at least in that grave. Like, what what was going on in that town? You know, like you're saying about the extra stories out of Civil War. Like, what is going on there where this is where we ended up? Like,
and is that town one of the prerequisites before they get to that town that's just pretending nothing's happening?
Right.
You know, are we killing the people who may think against it? Like, it's so great. Like, I really did enjoy this. But I do agree. Like, I probably would have liked a different perspective a little bit more.
A little bit more clarification too on what type of world it is as well. I mean, again, I'm not expecting the film to land on any political side on this because it has to appeal to a mass audience. So it's going to intentionally be as even-handed about like whoever the protagonist or the antagonist, whoever you think they're going to be. But I was just more curious, like, what's the inciting incident, or what is the reform that didn't go through that kind of set this whole thing off, like that sent President Nick Offerman on a on a tear.
But you know, like, also because it's like they're like, hey, how do you feel? Like, why did you authorize bombing of American citizens? Why did you like this dude?
Don't get those answers.
Yeah. You know, it's like this is third term, yada yada. Like, how? Like, what came about? What political moves are made? Where, like, did the Civil War start before he started his third term, or then he was like, hey, this is going on, I need a third term, or did he do the third term and that's what starts the Civil War? You know, like what? There's a lot of questions.
Oh, so many. And if we can get 7 billion Yellowstones, we can get at least one more Civil War.
No.
It'd be funny because
Yellowstone is a national treasure. Come on.
What if it's because everyone fell in love with all the Yellowstone spinoffs that they're like, let's go back to that old timey.
I want to see somebody make this movie, but do a joke mini Ken Burns documentary.
The violin theme is now done like on dubstep or dubstep.
The influencers were the first to go.
I told you guys I went into this the same way I went into Poor Things, like knowing nothing about it, and that's my new way of watching movies. I think like this.
How much did you masturbate through that movie before you finished it?
Which one?
Poor Things.
No, I was watching it with my girlfriend, but my face during Poor Things was like.
Together. That's not necessarily a solo.
That's true.
And he's gone again. Jason, are you editing him in real time here?
No. My computer. I think it's this new computer. This thing kind of sucks. But yeah, you know, hey, I mean, you know,
go watch Civil War, guys. It's a good
y'all
movie.
have fun together.
Yeah, if you manage to watch this whole review and you haven't seen it yet, go see it because we can't even spoil the tension for you. Like, it's done so well. But let's talk
terrific
Fallout
performances.
Quick. There won't be any spoilers on Fallout because we're all in different spots. But
I haven't even started it yet, but I am excited.
On the other side of the coin of going from serious to more, I guess, quirky would be the word I use for this show. It is so much fun. I'm watching it with Tony, which I don't like watching shows with other people because you have to wait for them. So Tony and I are watching it, and I'm digging it so far. And it was already renewed for season 2, which I'm excited about. And it's got one of my favorite TV actors, Kyle MacLachlan, in it. And Michael Emerson is in it as well. And I love Michael Emerson.
Yep.
No love for Walton Goggins.
I
like Walton Goggins.
He's definitely my favorite character in the show. So
that's awesome. I can't wait. I've seen snippets. You know, I saw some of the publicity stuff they put out, but like, I'm super excited. I just want to sit down and watch the 3 Body Problem right now. So after that's over, I'm going to go right into Fallout.
Yep.
I don't know. That's so much destruction. I think all back to back. Then Civil War, like.
Yeah, you might want to have a palate cleanser in between.
Just watch 16 weeks of Godzilla movies. I don't need any more of this.
There you go.
How many Godzilla movies is that?
I watched 40 because there are a couple that aren't considered like main, you know, Godzilla films. But yeah, overall, I've watched 40.
Do you include like the anime
can
stuff
watch
as
the
well?
Entire journey.
Oh yeah, those were some of the highlights through it. The anime was really freaking good. The whole trilogy. So definitely check that out if you guys like anime.
Yep, youtube.com/The Scene Snobs.
Getting back to Fallout really quick, like, yeah, I was such a fan of the show that I guess I'm gonna start playing the game. I've never played Fallout before, so I bought it for like $3 at a store. So I'm gonna start it up this weekend.
It's fun, man. You start literally from the birth of your character. Which one did you get? 3?
I've got 4 for Xbox One, but it comes with a free download of 3. So I'm gonna start with 3 and then work my way to 4.
You start with the birth of your
so
character.
this is so for somebody who has not played the games. I know the storyline of the games a little bit, so I'm going to ask a lot of questions, and I'm really excited about the show because the show's, even the visuals look fucking stunning. So for you guys, like knowing a little bit more about it and watching the show, is this something where I need to learn everything about each game? Because there's like a lot of games and a lot of history to this, right?
There is, but they do a good job of bringing you into that world. Because I know very little bit because I always played through, being the kid in the game, and then I'd get bored. But I'm not much of a gamer. But no, I don't think so. I think it does a really good job of introducing you to that world. Sure, I'm sure if you have the knowledge, it adds to the experience. But no, it's pretty solid.
I was pretty much in your shoes, Mick, when I started the show. It's like I knew like 1 or 2 things about Fallout, and then when I started the show, like it caught me up to speed pretty well. And there's definitely stuff in there that I kind of feel like, I wonder if that's a little Easter egg for like hardcore fans of the show. Like there's stuff that does stand out a little at times as being like, okay, I wonder if that's just for the true fans who have been with it for years. But it doesn't like bog you down too much with stuff. It's pretty streamlined.
Nice. What's up, Max?
Hey guys, I can make it. What are we talking about today?
Fallout was renewed for season 2, and have you watched any of it yet?
Fallout, no. Liz wanted to play some Fallout to like kind of acquaint herself with the universe before we started watching it. So I'm giving her time and space for that. But I hear it's really, really good, and I'm excited to start watching it.
It's fun. We live in a new age of video games and adaptations.
I'm just so happy, like, hey, like they took a video game and this is twice now after Last of Us, where it's like, oh, wait a minute, can I just not expect the video game adaptation to be absolute garbage? Like wait a minute, like do I have to actually check to see if it's good? Like that's this is amazing. This is wonderful.
Speaking of video games, I want to say that announcement of that actor voicing that character is pretty spot on, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm glad you brought up Keanu Reeves spotting Shadow the Hedgehog because, yes, that is awesome. I like the Sonic movies. It's old school Jim Carrey, like back again, and I'm digging those. So I can't wait to see this one.
I just remember playing the Dreamcast Sonic games and the one that Shadow shows up in, and now looking back in my memory, I'm like, yeah, that's the voice.
I wonder if they announced that before Knuckles, because I wonder if Shadow shows up in Knuckles.
Probably.
Oh, that's right. There's a show.
It's coming out next week.
I'm
excited for it because so far the Sonic universe has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun.
I've not watched any of the Sonic movies. The only Sonic I've watched is like the Teeth Sonic and Chippendale, the Chippendale movie. That's like the only Sonic experience I've had.
How dare you? Now you know why I keep it there.
I mean, I'll be frank. Like the Sonic they're kids movies,
yes,
obviously. But I mean, they are fun. They do have a sense of joy about them, at least that I can get in. Like and that's as someone who enjoyed like the '90s cartoon with Urkel as Sonic. Like I like that too because that was a totally different thing. He's like one of those characters I feel like the Ninja Turtles. You could put them in a bunch of different styles. It probably work pretty well for the most part. And this seems to be working well for Paramount, so might as well keep going with it.
Yeah, Max. If you like Jim Carrey straight from the '90s, man, check it out just for him because he is there. Like he's shown up to play.
He is.
That's dope. I could never like bring myself to watch it. I was just like, like it's whatever. But
you're not missing it. It's not like a film fan is walking.
It's not priority.
No, absolutely.
You mean The Godfather, you maniac? Are you kidding me?
The Godfather sucks, dude. The Godfather is awful.
Yeah, he hurts Justin every time he says that. Like Justin right now just freaked out in pain, and Justin has no idea
I
why he
literally
hurt
shut
himself.
up there for a second. Like,
Oh yeah, I am a Godfather hater, and like I'd rather watch Sonic.
oh my
I was
god,
for a long time, and then a few years ago it clicked with me, and I loved it. The Godfather.
It's okay. I'm sure there's a Godfather joke in one of the Sonic movies. I'm sure Jim Carrey does a "You broke my heart."
It's. I mean, I've seen all the memes. I know all the important things that happen in the Godfather movies. I don't have to actually sit through 17 hours.
you didn't see it? You hate it?
Crap, huh?
I'm just staying like this.
What?
You're gonna say more. You're gonna say.
I do. I gotta say, it's like, yeah, I'd understand a little bit if you sat through it and you're kind of like, nah, not my thing.
No, I mean, I sat through. I'm gonna say an hour and a half of the first one.
You got to watch the whole thing.
No,
there's a through line in that story.
You can't make me.
That's true. I can't make you. I physically would not try.
What we need to do is we need to chop up a movie that you will watch and just subliminally put in like frame by frame the whole movie.
The Nickelodeon Avatar, the first Avatar series.
Every time you see like Fight Club, you see the cigarette burn mark.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a frame of The Godfather. We just fed you.
Oh my goodness.
There we go. We put on The Godfather for Max. Hear me out. And then we get a large pizza with olives and pineapples. And every time he nods off to The Godfather, he has to eat a piece of pizza.
And don't forget your mayo.
What?
Yeah.
And he's going to realize.
Why would I agree to this? Why would I agree to this?
And then he's going to realize he was watching a porn from the 90s that was called like the fucking whatever father,
the
like
bod father,
the god daddy or whatever. And like it's just going to be horrendous. And be like, why does this movie win so many Academy Awards? Why is it considered one of the best of all time? Fuck this movie. And he's just gone on for 30 years hating The Godfather.
Well, there you go, folks. Man Juice brought up on the Three Geeks podcast. That means we have 15 minutes left.
He didn't even make it through it because he jerked off after the first one. So it's like he's like, I didn't like the beginning. He made her an offer and like, I couldn't refuse.
I just got sleepy after a while.
With a lot of pornos, like I will just come back and finish it later. Like there's other scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like once you get to the one where you're like, okay, this is where it's happening. Yeah, you're gonna want the nap afterward, but you can just come right back to it. There's more stuff later.
I'll pick up on the nuance later. I pick up on the nuance later with the DVD commentary.
Yeah,
for the porno version.
Right.
Internet ruined porn narratives. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, if there is a Debbie Does Dallas commentary, I kind of want to hear it.
Yeah.
No, you don't, dude. It'll probably be a very depressing story because
the third act is completely in South Dallas. It just isn't good.
Yeah.
It doesn't go her way. The Fort Worth scenes, really, that's where she propels. Point that she gets to Austin.
I don't think you want to hear any of the backstory and thoughts or retrospectives of people who did porn in the 70s. Like,
yeah,
it sounds like a waking nightmare.
We didn't have a casting couch. We had a mattress on the floor.
Yeah, it's rough.
Ooh.
All right.
Guilty pleasure, guys.
My guilty pleasure is a porn TV show called Co-Ed Confidential.
Was that on Cinemax? I think I used to watch that.
It was on Cinemax. I pulled that one out of my ass. Dude, I remember seeing that when I was in college, and it was just like, well, I went to college late, so. But the fact that, Jason, you know what it is, means white guys are fucking worse. You watched a fucking porn TV show. And for the story, I bet, too.
It was solid writing.
That's going to be our OnlyFans podcast.
Solid writing?
That's the name of the podcast. The porn podcast.
I'm in it for the articles.
Oh my God, the internet was the death of Debbie Does Dallas and Deep Throat. Everybody just goes for the sex now.
I mean, it's that quick, it's like, hey, I know what I want and I want it right now. Like that's
And this is how we start the real Civil War. Bring back our adult films where we had to sit for the plot.
Yeah, like this is basically.
Or we will secede from the Union.
These are happening.
They're just forcing the comedy at this point.
Yeah, that's
not real.
It's not real?
That's not the real one.
Oh.
That was a fake one somebody made.
Yeah, that's
the only thing that's been said so far is Kevin Feige said that Deadpool's going to be, and you don't know if it's a joke, but you kind of, I'm sure they're going to. But keep in mind, this is Disney.
Yeah, and they want kids to
like. Dune was accidentally a popcorn bucket.
And that's the whole thing. The Dune popcorn bucket, that was legitimately funny because that was someone's actual like, this will be a great seller, not like, wouldn't this be funny if we did this? Someone actually thought that was a great marketing idea. The Deadpool thing, if they were to lean into that popcorn bucket, looks like a fleshlight thing, it would be a forced joke. And
yeah, I agree with Mike on
that. It's like the 10 guys in the room always make the wrong decision. And I would hope that they would be like, the Dune popcorn bucket is getting a lot of traction because of this. Like, I would want them to make the wrong decision and actually make those popcorn buckets.
I'd be great if they just put Dune buckets back out again.
Yeah, you just switch out the logos
or something.
Guys, we have Beetlejuice. They have sandworms. I mean, it could happen.
That's also true.
I would paint them with black stripes.
I would have sex with the sandworm bucket while watching.
I don't know. Dune one cut me up pretty bad.
Make Manhattan arrested in a local theater.
I would do it at home. The second time.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness.
Why is that man behind
would that be better or worse for Scene Snobs if you got arrested?
I don't know. Pee Wee Herman went on for years afterwards, so it's fine. It's all good. I just have to make sure I'm like nowhere near a school.
Yeah, yeah, for the rest of your life. I
just meant to do it. I'm not even going to do it.
Sure you aren't, Vic. Sure you aren't. That's fine. That's fine. I understand for legal purposes you have to say that.
Listen, it ain't a crime if you don't get caught.
America.
White people told me. It's true. I know the band, the White Rappers. Can anybody guess?
The Beastie Boys?
House of Pain. God, everybody left them in the 90s too. I love the awkward pauses that it gets to. Max is
I didn't listen to some House of Pain. I've only heard Jump Around as a hip hop fan.
Oh yeah, they had a great band. They had a whole great album. Jump Around was just the fucking one that everybody went crazy over.
Well, I just jumped on the Queen Latifah bandwagon. I've been listening to a lot of her, and her stuff from the 80s is freaking solid.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, I wish we could get back to that. I don't really like Queen Latifah the actress. I don't think she's like great, you know? Like, go back to being an awesome rapper.
Never gonna happen. You can be too far removed from the street, it seems.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
When she shows up for like hip hop anniversary things, she still got it, but I don't know if she could make new material. Like Tribe came out with a new album a few years ago that was awesome, but I don't know if they could all do that.
Oh no,
Tribe has been touring for years, so like
they're still working.
She's playing the Equalizer, like
right,
not the same. Like acting great.
Like I would rather listen to Queen Latifah than like Nicki Minaj. You know, like this is what I'm saying. Like I wish.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I got you. That's
well, fair. You still can. It's there.
Yeah.
Do you want Queen Latifah to sing about her wet ass pussy, or
Queen Latifah wanted to sing about her wet ass pussy, I think she would do it better than Cardi B.
It'd probably be deep too. She'd make it deep.
She's singing about her wet ass pussy, like bringing everybody around, unifying everyone.
Yeah, you can watch her act and rap in House Party too. She does both.
or House Party 3.
Oh my
So,
god.
did you have
Of
any guilty
course.
pleasure TV shows? Mine would be all of HGTV.
It was Kindred the Embraced,
Oh, nice, nice.
my vampire
Remember that
soap
show.
opera. Late. Speaking of the '90s, yeah,
I
one of
watched
Aaron's
so much-
spelling's worst, but it's fine. I did a whole 4 or 5 episode thing with Katie on it, so it's.
I remember. I
how
listened to
ridiculous-
that.
So
It sounds fascinating.
I watch a lot of bad anime. I mean, like I'll just turn it on, and it's like it's always the same. Like, oh hey, I died or was somehow brought to this other world, and now I have superpowers, and they're all the same. They're all bad, and I don't know why I watch them.
Yeah, I would say like the D.
But like they're even getting lazier and lazier in the naming of them.
I watch a lot of cop shows, so maybe I'd say those because they're all the same. Somebody
Jesus.
dies, investigation solved. Even though I've really been liking Elsbeth, which is a spinoff of The Good Wife, and I want to recommend that to everybody. It's a throwback. It's very similar to like Columbo, and I highly recommend it.
Okay, back in the day, I used to watch Jersey Shore, but not for them, but because I was from there, and they would go to certain places. I'd be like, "Oh, I wonder where they're going to go to today." And I was always hoping somebody I'd run into would knock one of them out.
Please,
I was living in
please
New
give me
York
episode
around
where
the
they run into
time.
Robbie.
Around the time Jersey Shore was like at its peak popularity, I was living in New York City, and there was this bar I would go to, and the bartender would put on Jersey Shore again, not for liking the show, but being like, he's like, yo, I'm from Tom's River, and I want to see someone just go down there one day and knock the situation the fuck out.
Oh my god, they had to have tons of, because like what people don't get is like they were all from like Staten Island, or like one of them was from New Jersey, and she was like,
Yeah,
oddly enough, the most normal one in my opinion. But like, yeah, they were all from like out of state, and we can't stand that. We call them Bennies. Like, stay out of. Like, fine, we get it. We make your money when you come down here and stuff, but then go. Like, we don't want your trashiness, like, because they do. That's everything they do in that show is the bullshit they do everywhere. It's all like stiff hair and bullshit.
I've been up to Staten Island. It's
It's
accurate.
Can confirm.
It's great for a few reasons, but bars close at 4. Wu-Tang Clan, Verrazano Bridge is kind of cool. A lot of history there.
I mean, the Wu-Tang Clan is nothing to fuck with.
It is a nice
I-
drive. It was a nice drive from over the Verrazano Bridge to get up that
Yeah.
anyway. So it's like,
I had a friend who hailed a cab in New York, and the RZA walked right by him. He stopped and talked to him for like 5 minutes.
that's
He was
cool.
a big Wu-Tang fan too, so you can imagine he was over the moon. But
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. I wish the
guys-
RZA wouldn't act also.
right?
He
Do
could
the
go on my
soundtrack.
list. Well, I mean, no, yeah, absolutely. Like, I dig his music. I mean, like, the Afro Samurai soundtrack, freaking awesome. But I don't need, like, the RZA in the G.I. Joe movie, awful, terrible. Like, we don't need that. We don't need that.
He was the ninja master, wasn't he? in
Yeah,
that movie?
yeah. The hard master. Get the fuck out of here.
It's great when you're like the biggest star that's willing to come back.
That's the thing. I don't even think he was in the first one.
No,
Oh shit!
he wasn't.
Channing was like, "All right, you can have the Rock. I'm out." And then Riz
Yeah.
was like, "You make me a master. I'm in."
Hey,
That was it.
you got a sandwich, and you're gonna call me a kung fu master? Then,
I can see
let's
myself
do this.
teaching a bunch of Asian people the martial arts. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
Man.
yes.
Well, guys, we've said it all. Mick, where can everybody find you online?
Just type in the Scene Snobs or go to thescenesnobs.com. We got links to everything. Go check us out.
Nice. And then, guys, Mike, talk about yourself, man. You just released a couple short films.
Nice. I'm gonna watch them.
First of all, we don't follow Mike at the Scene Snobs. You follow Mick at the Scene Snobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens when we got two names that sound alike. Yeah,
My bad.
I released a video after the earthquake we had here in Jersey on Saturday, which was no big deal, honestly. But then we had like aftershocks that morning, and I was walking through the woods. I'm like, cool, that's interesting to feel. All right, but yeah, no, I'm always filming stuff. I might do some more chat cave with Max at some point. We'll think about something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Nice,
man.
guys. We'll be back next week. Talk to you soon.
Recycle your droids.
All right. Take care, guys.
420.
Yay!
420.
Get high.